Hello, and welcome to our DogBizPro help video series. In this video, we will be explaining how to run a report inside of the software. To start, you would just want to navigate to your admin module by clicking on the module dropdown and selecting admin. Once inside, you can click on the reporting button in order to be brought to your reports page. From inside of this page, you'd be able to see a number of different report sections. For example, there's client reports, dog reports, financial reports, class reports, event reports, and employee and user reports. Inside of each of these sections would be the related reports for that section. For example, the class reports section would show the default reports set up for classes, and it would also show any custom versions of these reports that you had set up. If you were wanting to run a report, you can click on the report in question in order to navigate to that specific report page. In this example, let's say you are wanting to run a client list report. Again, to do this, you would just want to click on the client list button, and that will take you right to that specific client list report. From inside of the client list report page, you'd be able to set up the filters for this specific report. Each report is going to have their own separate filters. These filters are the various fields that show up inside of each report. If you did not want a field to show on this report, then you can uncheck the associated checkbox for that field. So let's say on this report, you didn't want to have the preferred contacts field show. So if you wanted to remove that column from the report, you can actually uncheck that checkbox. And if I was to click Run at this stage, my report would no longer contain the preferred contact column. So you're definitely able to limit what fields show on this report. With these filters, you can enter in specific data in order to limit your search results as well. For example, let's say you only wanted to see clients who had the last name of Test or Test appearing in their last name. If you typed Test into the last name text box, and then click the Run button, you should only see the results showing for clients that have the last name of Test or have Test appearing in their last name. Let's say for whatever reason you no longer wanted Test to be showing as the last name filter for this report. If you wanted to remove that, you can scroll back up to the last name text box, and you can manually remove Test, or you can click the clear button in order to clear out all those fields or return them to their default settings. So again, if you notice by me clicking clear, it actually removed that Test from the last name text box. Just for this video, I'm going to retype in Test for that last name text box, and then click the Run button. After I click the Run button, I can scroll down in order to view the report. On the actual report itself, you are also able to organize the fields to show in whatever order you wanted. Because this is the default version of the client list report, they will always show in this manner. So the ID would be showing first, their first name would be showing next, last name would be showing third, etc. However, as I mentioned, you are able to reorganize these columns if you wanted to. So let's say, for example, you wanted to have this email column appear first. All you would have to do is click and drag on that column and drag it to the front. And if you'll notice, that email column is now showing in front of ID. If I was to just click on a column without dragging it, it would actually sort that column. So you'll actually want to make sure that when you're clicking, you'll drag if you wanted to actually move the column itself. After you have moved the email column to the location of your choosing, you can then set up a name for this report using the name text box. You'll notice the default client list name showing up for this report. That is because we have clicked on the default version of the client list report, so that's why the name is showing here still. If you wanted to reflect that this was a version of the client list report, you could keep that client list showing and just add an additional name after it. For example, you could keep client list and you could just add in last name test if you wanted that to be the name of that report. Once you are finished, you can click the Save As button in order to actually create and save that report version. Now, if you were to go back to your reporting page, you should be able to see that newly created report showing inside your Client Reports section. If you wanted to navigate back to that specific report page, you would just want to click on that report inside of your Client Reports section, and it would bring you right back to that specific report page. From inside of the specific report page, you should be able to see that report name showing. You should be able to see the email filter now showing as the first column, and you should be able to see test showing in that last name field still. If I was to click Run, again, you'll notice that the email is still showing first, and it's still set up just to show those clients who have test as their last name or test appearing in their last name. So again, you are able to set up different versions of each default report and save them for later use. If you are wanting to export this report information, you can click the download button after you ran a report, and that should allow you to export that report into Excel. So if I click download, it would allow me to export that into Excel. If you no longer wanted a report to show, and you wanted to actually remove that report, then you could navigate to that specific report page and click the delete button in order to actually remove that report. So again, let's say we wanted to completely remove this report. I can click the delete button and click OK, and it'll actually completely remove that report for me. You'll notice there's no longer a client list test name only report showing inside of this client reports section. Hopefully that helps and explains how you can set up and run your own reports inside of the software.